prefer we keep it to
Yes?
just Nick and Dima for now.
Of course.
I've got those storage drives you asked for.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Just the two? Really? I somehow thought there were three.
I did notice a locked chest that I couldn't open. Maybe the last one was in there. Do you have the key?
Key? Chest? I'm afraid I don't know. You know what? This is fine. Just these two is fine. Well, you did your part, so I'll do mine. Thank you for recovering these.
What can you tell me about Acadia?
It's smaller than I'd like it to be. But then, we don't exactly have the numbers to fill someplace larger. Makes it easier to defend anyway. Forget it. Did you want something or not?
So, what's your story?
I don't like talking about it. I made it to Acadia. That's what matters. Now that I'm here, I'm going to make sure nothing happens to it.
New girl, right? Must be, because I don't recognize you. Look, I'm not anybody worth talking to. My head is killing me. Now's not a good time.
What's wrong?
We're doing this anyway? Even after saying I don't want to talk? God. You try having somebody botch a mind wipe on you and see how it feels. Then get back to me, okay?
Sounds like you should get some help.
Yes, right. Brilliant. If only I'd thought of that and, I don't know, gone someplace to see synths that could help me. Like, maybe Acadia? Thanks so much for the advice.
Hey.
I just can't deal with social interactions, okay?
If it weren't for Dima, most of us would probably be dead. It might not look like much, but this is the only place I know of where I don't need to hide who I am.
You want to buy something or what?
So you're that new gal from the Commonwealth. It's so wonderful to meet someone from back home. I'm afraid Kasumi doesn't seem to want to discuss it, but how are things there?
You think of the Commonwealth as back home? Aren't you a synth?
Well, certainly. Why wouldn't I? It's where I came from. I would like to see it again someday. Once things settle down here. Acadia is all well and good, I suppose. But honestly, it does get a bit boring.
If this is boring, I'd hate to see what you consider exciting.
Oh, aren't you a card? I'm sure I'll see you around. Do take care.
Some other time, okay?
I'll sum it up. I found Dima's earliest memories. He's manipulating the whole island.
Damn it. I was hoping I was wrong, but I just knew there was something. Do you know why he did it?
I think he was desperate. He thought it was the only way.
Has Acadia been a mistake this whole time? Is it worth saving? There are good people, synths here.
I need to think this through, Kasumi.
Yeah, we both do. Thank you for telling me the truth at least. Whatever you decide, just keep in mind that there are innocent lives here. No matter what Dima has done.
Need something?
Anything interesting you can tell me about Acadia?
God, no. Have you looked around this place? Death by boredom is a legitimate concern. So, come on. You want to do a little trading?
So, what's your story?
Me? No story here. Not one that matters, anyway. Like I said, it's not worth holding on to. Nice of you to ask, though.
Can I help you?
What can you tell me about Acadia?
It was originally a place of science. I like that about it. Feels like home in a way. I don't mean the Institute when I say home. More that, I don't know, that abstract feeling of belonging someplace. We all belong here, in our own way. Dima's to be thanked for that.
Still collecting asters? I have some flowers for you.
I'm sorry, is this a joke I'm not in on? If you do actually find any, I'll be happy to take them. You track Kasumi here. I'm impressed. Perhaps not as quietly or efficiently as possible, but thankfully she was never in any real danger. I'm afraid your journey was unnecessary.
Miss out on a fun boat ride? Never.
Well, then at least you have the return trip to look forward to. Acadia is a safe haven for synths. Were it not, I would not have aided anyone in reaching it. Every synth I've tracked down, every synth convinced to come here, has been assured that he or she will come to no harm. My job is to make sure they all remain safe, no matter what. Understand?
How do you manage to track down synths and bring them here?
I have a network of contacts throughout the area. Some from my time with the Institute, some after. I know the Institute's tactics, and use that to my advantage. You have Dima's blessing, so by all means, make yourself comfortable.
So, what's your story?
I used to be a courser, returning synths that had escaped from the Institute. I was tracking a synth and instead found Dima. He convinced me of the truth, and the error of my ways. I rejected the Institute, made sure they couldn't track me, and dedicated my life to instead helping synths find freedom.
Tell me about Acadia.
Dima's told you most of what you need to know. It's as safe as we can make it for now. With every new synth we rescue, we're better able to defend ourselves.
I'd like to help you all. Is there anything I can do?
Actually, as a matter of fact, there is. If you're serious about contributing, well, we've got a situation I need someone to look into. You've had some experience traveling around the island, so you may be decently equipped to handle it.
All right, I'm listening.
We were expecting a new synth to arrive, and he should have been here by now. There's been no sign of him, and I'm concerned that he might have become lost on the way here.
You have any leads on where he might be?
You should start by talking to Brooks in Far Harbor. He's one of us, a synth. He's the one who meets the new arrivals and gets them started on the journey here. Of course, he's not likely to tell you anything without proof that you're working for me. If he doesn't cooperate, tell him that his designation is L792. That should convince him. That's as much help as I can give you for now. Please, hurry. If that synth is out there alone, he won't last long.
I'm working with Chase. She told me that your designation is L792.
Okay, I believe you. Keep it down, all right? It's real private information. I know the synth you're talking about. He's a younger guy, maybe early 20s with white hair. Goes by the name Derek. Thing is, he showed up way earlier than he was supposed to. Thought a courser was on his tail, so he rushed the timetable. To be honest, the guy was a wreck. He was scared shitless, looking over his shoulder every 5 minutes and attracting unwanted attention. Tried to calm him down, but he panicked and ran off into the fog. That was the last I saw of him.
Relax. I'll take care of this.
Sorry. My nerves are a little shot right now. Look, if you're really going after that synth, I'm pretty sure he took the road south out of town. Maybe you could head that way. Just be careful out there. And thanks. There aren't many who'd go out in the fog to help a synth, especially one they don't even know. I feel like shit about what happened. I really do. I hope you can make it right.
With ordnance like that, no wonder you wiped out those crabs.
There's a trail of blood.
Fresh meat crawling in from the fog. Don't care if it's Mirelurk or man.
Bethesda! I'm not looking for trouble. I just need to find someone, a young man with white hair. You help me, I'll leave.
Yeah, we found him. One of the fog's creatures already attacked him. He was bleeding out, but, why waste the meat? Here, well, what's left? Take it. Now go. Don't come back.
The wrong synth. Be bothering anybody now?
Among humans.
Your missing synth was jumped by cannibal trappers. He didn't survive.
That poor bastard. That synth came here to live in peace, and we failed him in the worst way possible. It's my fault. I should have gone out there to meet him. Damn it all. I'm glad we were able to bring some closure to the matter. You deserve this. And shall we say 200 caps?
Given the risks I took to find your synth, I think I deserve more than that.
I suppose that's a fair request. 250 caps, then.
I've seen the resources you have here. I know you can do better than that.
Fine. 300 caps. I'd advise you not to push your luck any further.
If you ever want my help again, you're gonna have to pay me some real caps here.
I can do 400 caps, but that's as high as I'm willing to go. Don't bother asking for a single cap more. Thanks again for your help. Be safe out there. Did you need something?
I'd like to help you all. Is there anything I can do?
You've already done enough. Thank you.
Just when I thought we were getting along.
You hit like a rat rope.
Speak of the devil. Coast looks clear.
You have to come out sooner or later. Come on out, stranger. This doesn't have to get messy. What were you doing up there in my camp?
Nice hat.
Thanks. I skinned it myself. Look, I don't really want any trouble. I broke off from the group I came here with a long time ago. I just started seeing things differently when we came to the island, and I couldn't stand how the other super mutants act to humans. I keep to myself up here and train my dogs. Do a bit of trade with people too. At least those that don't open fire on me. Don't see any reason we can't do the same. Come on up if you'd like.
So, Why don't you hate humans like the rest of your kind seem to?
Started seeing things more clearly when we came here. Who knows? Maybe it's the fog. I just don't see what the point of us all killing each other is.
Wow. Did you train these dogs?
Yeah, as guard dogs. Not all can be trained, though. Most are used to being kicked or shot at. I can only manage a...
You just live out here, by yourself?
My kind are mostly stupid brutes. They used to...
Bethesda!
Got any tips about the island?
There's a lighthouse on the south end of the island. Big family of trappers lives there.
You interested in a trade?
Maybe?
I was interested in buying one of your guard dogs.
Which one would you like?
I'll take the mutant hound.
Where did you want it to guard? Treat them right, and they'll do the same for you.
There we go.
Hey.
What's the plan? Done and done.
Did you have time for that personal matter I mentioned?
Sure.
Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. There's so much I wanted to say.
Well, take a deep breath and start from the beginning.
I'll try. I've spent my entire life, or at least what I perceive as my life, following a plan to shape my own future. But since my banishment, I feel lost. Almost like I exist without purpose. For the first time since that moment I signed up with the Brotherhood, I don't have all the answers. I don't have a plan, and it scares the hell out of me.
Do you really need a plan?
That's not the point. Don't you understand? Everything I had, everything I knew is gone. In the span of a few hours, my identity was ripped from me and my world turned upside down. At least what you had was something tangible, something real. Your husband, your son. They were living, breathing humans who loved you and cared for you. Those sons of bitches who created me couldn't even be bothered to implant memories of having siblings or parents. I don't even know how much of my own past is artificial and how much is real. Can you even imagine that? I started out as nothing, and I've ended up as nothing. And I don't know what the hell to do about it.
Hang in there, Danse. You need to fight this thing.
I'm not giving up. Not yet. I suppose you're right. Maybe I'm just missing the point. My life's starting over. And I need to come to terms with everything I've lost and everything I've gained, which includes something important you've made me realize. I don't know if it's friendship or an anomaly in my programming. After all, I'm not really human. But whatever it is, I can't deny that I'm feeling closer to you than anyone else I've ever met.
As far as I'm concerned, you're like a brother to me. The best of friends.
And I'll do everything I can to live up to it. Look, I know that this has been difficult for you. In fact, I don't envy some of the recent decisions you've had to make. If our roles had been reversed, I'm not so sure I could have handled it as well as you did. Whatever the case may be, I just want to thank you for sticking by me, and remind you that what I said before still stands. If you need me, I'll be here for you.
It's you or me, and it ain't gonna be me. happening?
Hey there. Thanks, Mainlander.
Nothing good comes out of the fog.
You're right about that. Glad that's over. Maybe that's all of them for now. It looks like we've got some fog condensers down. We gotta get them fixed pronto, or we're gonna be swarmed by the island's creatures.
How do we fix them?
Probably just broken wiring. A little spot welding is usually all it takes. If you watch my back, I can do the repairs.
I'll help you repair them.
Sounds good. If we work together, we can get them fixed faster. That could have been a lot worse. Thanks for the help. The fog condenser should keep us safe enough, as long as they keep working. In the deep fog, there are things out there.
protect your loved ones.
Harbor's safe as it's going to get. You ever get a gnawing in your belly to do something crazy? But reason and sense keep steering you clear? The craziest ideas are usually the best. Fortune favors the bold and unbalanced, right? You're the only mainlander I'd ever tell of this. So hear me out. The Red Death. May have heard of it. The big monster lives beneath the waves. Only strikes when the fog is thick. People think it's some drunken sailor's tale. But no one goes sailing when there's a fog on. In their bones, they know there's something out there.
I suppose the Red Death could exist?
Good. An open mind. With my business here done, and knowing someone like yourself, I seek to end this unholy terror. Dozens of boats over the long years been claimed by it. I mean to hunt this Red Death. Are you with me?
What's in it for me?
Listen, I've thrown every cap I have into the hull. I'm close to beggared defending the harbor, but anything you find on the Red Death is yours. I just want to put it down for good.
How do we go about this hunt?
No one's encountered the Red Death up close and lived. But many folk have seen its glow from afar. I've been collecting the details of those sightings for years. We take our boats, and I can get us there. I know it. But it could be the deadliest challenge we ever face. So I'll understand if you pass.
Count me in.
Bring whatever weapons of death and mass destruction you got. Meet by the docks. You take your boat, I'll take mine. This trip is going to test our mettle more than anything.
Mariner, please. I heard about this expedition of yours. We need you. Please, turn back.
The hull's strong, and one more rifle won't make a difference.
Mainlander, if the Red Death's real, we can't afford to lose you both.
With all I've seen and faced, this Red Death doesn't scare me.
Don't say you haven't been warned.
You read me, Mainlander? I plotted a safe course for your boat. Don't tamper with it. The shoals near where we're headed can easily capsize a boat of your size. I'll catch up to you. Not much further, Mainlander. When Auntie Stacy told others of her brush with the Red Death, they laughed at her. Then 2 weeks after, a full fishing boat never came back. From the beach, they saw the glow on the horizon. I've been looking to end the reign of the Red Death's terror my whole life. Wrecks all around it. There. You see it, right? Meet you there, and get prepared. It can't be. That's the Red Death?
Think we can handle it? We could always call in the Marines.
Oh, ha ha. What do we say to all the folk back home? I meant this to be my last great adventure. Instead, if we tell the folk back at town, I'll be a laughing stock.
Maybe we embellish a little. Or a lot. Make it the stuff of legends.
I have little stomach for it. But it's better than the alternative. Let's go. I thought I got this for you to celebrate. I didn't think it would turn out like this. wasn't supposed to be like this.
They're here! They're back!
Did you find it? Did you end the scourge of the seas?
So, we set sail. It was a terrible fight.
So you killed it?
Oh yes, we did at that. It was quite the sight.
Did you hear? They did it! The Red Death's no more.
Did it take long? My gran figured it would take a mini-nuke direct to the center of the eye to do it in.
That would have worked, but we made do.
The seas are ours again. We can fish in peace.
Tell me, are you injured, Mariner? Are you okay?
No, we managed to get through unscathed.
Oh, thank God. I thought for sure you were sailing to your graves.
Here's to the heroes.
Food in front, dock in back. The bait shop.
Hey, a mariner.
Seems like the end of the road. Every time we've talked, you've given me a lot to think about. Might be time to come clean. Tell the others about my condition. But after the lies, it makes the decision even harder.
What happened with the Red Death shouldn't change anything.
Well, I hope not. What's done is done. I mean, at the end of it all, what's worth doing in your final days? What's worth leaving behind?
You're entitled to be a little selfish in the end.
I've given everything I have left to this town. It's gotta be enough, right? No matter what happens or what goes down. You were a true friend.
Hi, how are you?
Guns, guns, and more guns.
I wish we still had the staff to keep up this area of the hotel. It's in quite a state of disrepair. I should warn you, some of the other hotel guests are a bit, rowdy. I was forced to defend myself when a few became a bit handsy, shall we say. The registered patrons are in a more exclusive area of the hotel, though, and do not associate with this sort of rabble. Shall we be off?
What do you mean the other patrons are rowdy?
I had not been in this part of the hotel for some time. Perhaps there is some sort of sporting event that has them agitated. Several of them tried to grab me and, well, their clothing was certainly not suitable for polite company. Shall we be off?
Yeah, let's go.
Very good. This way. This elevator leads to the exclusive area of the hotel. You should feel quite privileged that they will be allowing you in. After you, the elevator is right there. Maxwell. Go ahead and activate the control panel there.
Greetings! Welcome to Vault 118. Your home away from home, underground. Are you the detective we sent for?
It's me, Pearl. I've returned with the investigator.
Let me just get the door for you. Hello there! Well, it's about time the police sent someone out to investigate. We have many important residents and they are very worried.
Let's talk about my compensation first.
Very well. Consider this a retainer. Have a look at the crime scene for clues. And when you're ready, we can discuss your findings. You are free to question the residents, but their safety is our priority. So unless you have solid evidence, I would avoid accusations.
What the hell do you think you're doing? This is a crime scene.
Do you not see the glory of the thing, the artistry?
What the hell is wrong with you?
Excuse me?
Ezra, you have outdone yourself. Oh, this is your finest work. There is more emotion in his death than most have had in their entire lives.
Our friend is dead, Mr. Avita. Have you no respect?
I'm just saying that at least he had the decency to make a spectacle of it. There is nothing worse than a poor death.
That's what
I
this is
could
to
just
you?
have your attention.
You're sick.
I'm sorry for shouting, but the detective has arrived and shall begin the investigation henceforth. Please return to your rooms until the detective has examined the crime scene and had a chance to come speak with you. Hello again, Detective. Was there anything else?
Your residents are robots.
Not robots, Detective. Well, not exactly, anyway. I believe the term they use is robo-brain. Back before the war, the residents decided the best way to wait it out was to put their brains inside robotic chassis. Was there anything else?
Tell me about the victim.
Mr. Ezra Parker was the primary owner and financier for the hotel. He had vast experience managing venture projects around the world. It was his idea to have our premier clients become investors in the Vault section of the hotel. He worked with Vault-Tec to have this built to their every specification. Was there anything else?
I'm not sure where I should start.
I suppose you should try to figure out how he died, and then who had the means and motive to kill him. Once you have enough evidence, then I suppose you'll need to confront the killer. Was there anything else?
Never mind.
I'll be here should you need me.
Looks like the brain enclosure was smashed. Is this blood? Red paint?
Welcome to the Vault 118 gift shop. Need to restock on hunting or fishing supplies?
Did you have any thoughts on the case?
I'm afraid not, Detective. We're really at a loss, which is why I was sent to find you. Looking for a gift to bring back to that special someone?
What have you got?
Keepsakes, hunting equipment, and a variety of small personal items. Forgot a personal item at home.
I'll take a look, sure.
All of our items have that rustic Maine feel.
I saw the way he looked at you. You gonna tell me that's nothing?
It wasn't like that. We were friends. He helped me out of a tight spot or two is all.
I couldn't stand by like some pasty-faced Percy while he put the moves on my best girl.
But now the law is on our tail. What are we going to do?
Come away with me. Let's leave this dark hole of a city behind. We can be in Buenos Aires by tomorrow.
Oh, I want to believe you, I do, but they'll never let us go.
Then we'll make our stand here. I've got a gun for each of us.
No. The line is, then we'll make our stand here. 2 lovers together with a bullet for each of them.
Oh, God. Why can't I ever get that line? Forget it. I can't do this right now.
Fine. I'm going to the beach.
The horrors inflicted in some of these vaults makes my skin crawl.
Yes. Are these plastic? Why would he have plastic skulls? Hell yeah.
Hello, Detective. How can I help? Did you have questions about the case?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
It's obviously Santiago. He keeps going back to look at the crime scene.
What were you and Gilda talking about when I walked in?
Oh, we were just rehearsing a scene. Nothing to worry about.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, as you probably know, I'm an actor. I don't like to brag about it, but my last picture, The Fighting Furies, did top the box office.
Maybe later.
Okay. Just let me know how I can help.
Progress on construction of the second wing of the vault is completely stalled. Once the premier area of the vault had been completed, funding seems to have been cut off. My supervisors have informed me that they haven't received payment from Mr. Parker, and Vault-Tec won't pay out of pocket to continue construction. I've repeatedly approached Ezra about the finances, but he keeps telling me that Mrs. Riggs hasn't transferred the funds. However, when I asked her, Juliana said that she had just given Ezra extra for the gold paint in the rooms. I've hired an investigator to look for signs of embezzlement in a few weeks.
Sounds like Ezra was embezzling from his investors.
Hello, Mr. Whiskers. Who's a pretty kitty?
Juliana, Mr. Whiskers died last month. This is Scruffy.
Watch your step. There's quite a bit of debris here.
Of course. Silly me.
Just let me have a look at the neural interface matrix, and I'm sure I can clear that.
No, it's not that. I've just caught another cold. Probably something that got in when they sent Pearl out.
Oh, God. Not this again. Last month you were convinced you had the measles.
You're not a doctor. What would you even know about it? Besides, I think it may be malaria.
First of all, I am a doctor.
Yes, but not a real doctor. Robotics isn't an actual medical degree.
Secondly, I've told you time and again, you can't get sick inside the suit. It's not physically possible.
I know when I'm getting sick, Bert. Now why don't you just wander off and play in your lab? Mr. Scruffy and I are going to rewrite the will, so he will get everything when I die because horrible Bert didn't believe me.
Oh, God, Juliana.
Have fun, dear.
I'm going to the lab. Hello again. Did you need something?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
Oh, well, that's not really my field of expertise, but I'm sure there are probably some clues at the crime scene. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a scientist. You've probably met my wife, Juliana, already. Not sure what else to say, really. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Tell me about your research.
Well, I was one of the leads on the team that created the first robo-brains, the precursors to our model. Most people don't find it all that interesting, and I'd rather not bore you. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
Oh, wonderful. No one else here really wants to talk about it. Functionally, this model is more or less the same as the previous versions I worked on, but without the neural inhibitor and the reconditioning. The voice modulator seems to have some minor issues interfacing with the neural matrix, which can add some moodiness. But that's easily solved with regular tune-ups. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
RoboBrains have a voice modulator? Tell me about that.
That's what allows us to recreate our original voices. They can mimic any normal human voice, actually. I've speculated for some time that the issues we had with our recruited subjects is due to the brain attempting to preserve a sense of self. Maintaining our original voices helps reinforce the neural network, sort of like playing music for an Alzheimer patient. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
I'm afraid that's really all I should say about it. I mean, it is still classified, but I wanted to help with the investigation. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
Maybe later.
Very well. I'll just get back to my work then.
Hello, Detective. Did you have a question about the heinous murder?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm Juliana Riggs, heiress to the Riggs fortune and wife of Bert Riggs. I'm not sure what else you expected, Detective.
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
If you ask me, it's one of those actors. Or that horrible painter. Their type is always the cause of violence.
There's evidence Ezra was embezzling from his investors.
Oh, well, I really don't believe that. Mr. Parker wouldn't do such a thing, I'm sure.
What's with all the junk in here?
These are our things. We're just waiting till the war blows over so we can bring them back to the mansion.
Maybe later.
Good luck catching the murderer, Detective.
Well. If it isn't the long arm of the law. Tell me, are you a devotee of the arts? Does that cruel muse call you to her entrapping bosom?
Art is life. Without it, we are no different than animals.
Perhaps, if all we are is a sentience floating in a suit of flesh, or metal, I suppose, then art is the only true communion with the world. Come with me. Tell me, what does this piece say to you?
It's about composition. The balance of colors and emotions and the struggle to maintain internal order.
Indeed. This was the last piece I did in a series of portraits of Gilda. Number 1378. Her emotional landscape is superimposed on the portrait. The reality of the subject is distorted as the ego attempts to project itself. This way. Tell me, what does this one say to you?
It's the war! Bombs from every direction. No up or down. The world turned on its head.
I suppose in a way it must be. Art shapes the world, and the world shapes art in return. All art must therefore be constantly reborn through the lens of contextual and historic interpretation. We must ascend. And what about this one? And please be honest, for art without honesty is just politics.
This is bullshit. You're talking out your ass and wasting my time.
Got it in one. Truth be told, this is my best-selling piece. I did this series under a pseudonym, of course. This series has made more money than any of my serious works. And I did the whole thing as a lark. What does that tell you about the value of art to the common man, huh? Ah, my fellow connoisseur of the art. Here to see my latest work?
I found red paint at the crime scene. Know anything about that?
No, actually. Ezra borrowed my last gun, and now I can't find it.
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
The person you should be looking at is Juliana Riggs. That Philistine would not know art from her own excrement. She and Ezra had a rather dramatic fight recently. You could hear her banshee screeches all the way across the hotel.
What were Juliana and Ezra arguing about?
I don't know. I was painting at the time and I was trying to block it out. Though I bet Gilda probably heard them. Maybe you should check with her.
Tell me about yourself.
What is there to tell? I am one of the premier artists in the world. My work is primarily in oil paint, but I have been known to do sculpture or performance art as well.
I think you should explain why you keep returning to the crime scene.
It's for inspiration, detective. The others do not like to think about it, but even we shall die someday. Like Prometheus' torch, it kindles within me the fire to create as much art as I can with the time that I have.
It sounds like you've done a lot of paintings of Gilda. Why her?
Our Gilda is a very singular creature, detective. Do you not see the joie de vivre from within her? I have never met another who clings to life so tenaciously, who lives so in the moment. I must admit I was quite smitten with her for a time.
You're still in love with Gilda, aren't you?
So what if I am? What business is it of yours? She deserves someone who truly understands her ephemeral beauty, not that brute actor.
Maybe later.
Good. I hope my paintings are able to open your mind to new possibilities.
Yes.
Well now, if it isn't the brave detective. I haven't seen someone with a body like that in far, far too long.
Ah, you're not so bad yourself.
You should have seen me before all this. Red hair that was the envy of every girl and legs for days, darling. I'm sure you'd rather hear some of my stories from the silver screen rather than talk about that nasty murder business.
Puta, qué ofertón!
I must say, you're quite the actress.
What can I say? It just comes naturally. Care to hear some of my stories, detective?
All right.
Did you know that while filming Night of the Fishman's Return, Cynthia Marsh had the most terrible allergic reaction to the fishman suit? More than half the scenes had to be done with her stunt double, and that stunt double ended up having an affair with her co-star. Did you need something else?
Apparently, Juliana had a big argument with Ezra a few days before he died. Did you happen to overhear any of the conversation?
Oh, yes. I haven't seen a woman go off like that since Teresa Dubois fired her costume designer. But to get back to your question, it was fever pitch, detective. She had apparently gone to the overseer's office to check on the state of things and found it in horrible disrepair. But, and this is where it gets interesting, it sounded like she found something that really set her off. Couldn't hear what, though. Did you need something else?
I've gotten the impression you've had an affair with Santiago.
Look, I love Keith, I do. But sometimes he just can't give me the attention I need.
No mames, qué asco.
A girl gets lonely, detective. It only lasted a few dozen years. The man's a bit much, even for me. Did you need something else?
Did you have any thoughts about the murder?
Well, it is a bit strange how obsessed Santiago has been with the murder. I mean, he's always been a bit obsessive, though. He did a whole series of paintings of me, hundreds, said I was his muse. It was flattering for a while, but the man is a bit much, even for me. Did you need something else?
What were you and Keith talking about when I came in?
Oh, that? We were rehearsing. Gotta stay sharp if we're going to rebuild Hollywood. But Keith always gets flustered when he's upset. Did you need something else?
Tell me about yourself.
My favorite subject. Simply put, darling, I'm the greatest actress in the world. When this international scuffle blows over, I shall return to the silver screen and lead the world to a new golden age of cinema. Did you need something else?
Maybe later.
I'll be around, languishing from your inattention. Hey there, Tiger. Here for more stories about my acting career, or something else?
Have you ever done radio? Your voice is quite enchanting.
Well, darling, play your cards right, and maybe I'll whisper some sweet nothings in your ear. Surely you must be here for my salacious stories of the silver screen.
I must say, I've known flesh and blood girls who aren't half the woman you are.
Keep it up, Tiger, and we'll find out if you can handle how much woman I am. Surely you must be here for my salacious stories of the silver screen.
Why don't we grab a bottle of wine and go watch the sunset?
Sounds good, detective.
¡Qué horror! ¡Soy un degenerado!
That was great, detective, but we probably shouldn't make a habit of this. Catch you later, Tiger.
Your thoughts?
Remember, we're out here representing the Brotherhood. Let's make them proud.
A baseball bat? Huh. What's this doing here? I heard you had a big fight with Ezra a few days ago. Care to explain?
Oh, well, it wasn't that big a deal, really. He wanted more money to pay for repairs on the hotel. I wasn't feeling well that day and lashed out a bit at the poor man. I really should have listened to him more.
Hello, Detective. Did you need something?
Have you noticed Juliana acting strangely lately?
Oh, well, I'm probably just being paranoid, but she's been so much more pleasant lately. I mean, it's been nice, but also a bit unnerving. Most people don't really understand us, but I always appreciated how she can just take charge of a situation. It's what allowed me to focus on my research. I'm worried something has happened to her. She doesn't seem like the same person. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
What do you mean? Juliana's not the same person.
My wife has always been a very harsh woman, Detective. I don't know who it is in our rooms, but that is not my wife, Detective. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I heard that Juliana and Ezra had an argument a few days before he was found dead. Tell me about that.
Well, I was in my lab at the time, so I didn't hear it. But Juliana has always been rather critical of Mr. Parker. I think she found something in the overseer's office. I wasn't listening when she told me about it. I kind of had my head in my research. I don't know, really. I try to let her handle all the money stuff. Oh, was there something else, Detective?
I'd like to hear more about your research.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Please, just go.
I think you're the real murderer.
That's just silly, Detective. Why would I want to kill Mr. Parker?
Maybe you can give me a reason it couldn't be you.
I'm sick all the time, Detective. I don't have the strength to do such a thing.
Give it up. I know your secret, Juliana. Or should I say, Ezra?
Well, Detective, that's quite the claim.
It's a shame. I thought I could keep the ruse going a little longer. Oh, well. Had to end eventually, I suppose. This doesn't have to end in more violence, Detective. Just walk away. I'll leave, and you can tell them I escaped.
If I'm going to let you go, I want a cut of what you've stolen.
So it's like that, eh? Fine. I'll grease your palm a bit, Detective. Now, am I free to go?
Why did you kill Juliana?
I hadn't planned on it, but Juliana figured out what I was doing and had to be dealt with swiftly. I thought I could get a bit more money out of this place before making my escape. What's it going to be, Detective? Join me in getting rich? Or die defending some outdated ideals?
I need time to consider this.
I'm sorry, Detective, but I really do need an answer now.
Well, how is this going to go down?
Okay, I'll let you go.
Well, I'm glad you've decided to be reasonable. I would have hated for this to come to more bloodshed. All right, Detective. Tell Maxwell that it's over and get your reward. Then I'll make my way out when things have died down.
Hello again, Detective. Was there anything else?
I found Ezra. He killed Juliana, and he's been impersonating her.
Oh, my. I'll notify the staff and we can put an end to this once and for all.
Fugitive is attempting to evade capture. Beginning pursuit. Attempt to flee. Justice will be administered. And fairly.
And quiet at last.
Hello, Detective. How can I help? Did you have questions about the case?
What was all that commotion?
Anything useful?
We got him. It's finally over. Here you are, Detective. Payment for your services and a bonus for uncovering such a heinous plot. I don't think we could have done it without you.